Hello everyone, producer and director Naoki Yoshida here. Well, not me, I'm reading his forum post. I know, quite easy to mix up these two voices. We have confirmed that there exist third-party tools that are being used to check Final Fantasy XIV character information that is not displayed during normal gameplay. The tool is being used to display a segment of an FF14 character's internal account ID, which is then used in an attempt to further correlate information on other characters on the same FF14 service account. The development and operations teams are aware of the situation and the concerns being raised by the community and are discussing the following options. Bullet point 1. Requesting that the tool in question be removed and deleted. Bullet point 2. Pursuing legal action. Aside from character information that can be checked in-game and on the lodestone, we have received concerns that personal information registered on a user's Square Enix account, such as address and payment information, could also be exposed with this tool. Please rest assured that it is not possible to access this information using these third-party tools. We strive to offer and maintain a safe environment for our players, which is why we ask everyone to refrain from using third-party tools. We also ask that players do not share information about third-party tools, such as details about the installation methods, or take any other actions to assist in their dissemination. The use of third-party tools is prohibited by the Final Fantasy XIV user agreement, and their usage could threaten the safety of players. We will continue to take a firm stance against their usage. Naoki Yoshida, Final Fantasy XIV producer and director. Hello everybody, I am Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming, and you may be going, Jmulls, what the hell is this about? Well, a little while ago, I made a video concerning a recent third-party tool that was poised to be released to the public for Final Fantasy XIV. Its name was Playoscope, and what this third-party tool allowed the user to use was the account ID associated to your characters. To my understanding, and I'm not overly confident about this specific information, but to my knowledge, with Dawntrail, Final Fantasy XIV renovated how it utilizes the blacklist feature and moved away from character-based identification to an account-based identifier number for all of your characters. So if someone is able to get that number using a third-party tool like the one being discussed here or others, they would then be able to find a bunch of activity concerning your account. The big famous example being, who are your alts? And there's a genuine risk of stalkers utilizing this information or this tool to their advantage to, well, stalk other players. There's weirdos online, like, make no mistake about that. There's weird people everywhere. And it sparked a lot of controversy and discussion surrounding third-party tools, but specifically the utilization of this renovated and quote-unquote new blacklist function that Final Fantasy XIV has now. And I guess the conversation got big enough to warrant an actual reply from Naoki Yoshida. Now, I can already see, just based on the wording here, this response from Naoki Yoshida is going to draw up a bit of controversy. Because on a first impression, it doesn't sound like it's addressing the root problem. And I want to talk about this today. Now, I am not a legal expert, nor am I an expert in actual modifications, add-ons, third-party tools, or plugins for Final Fantasy XIV. However, what I do have is common sense. At least allegedly. And what this response from Naoki Yoshida screams to me is a corporate PR response. That's what it sounds like to me. Pretty much an acknowledgement that they are aware of what's going on, and they just request that don't participate in it, dummy. And you do have the 1-2 punch of them saying they are quote-unquote requesting that the tool in question be removed and deleted, and then immediately following that with saying pursuing legal action, or at least considering it. That to me is not included just to say they may go after the person behind Playoscope. That to me feels like it's half meant to do that, but also the other half is to communicate to other people who want to create third-party modifications or tools like Playoscope or other tools that utilize the account ID function for similar gains, saying, hey, we are threatening legal action. Don't try us here. That's what that sounds like to me. And then they just say the PR stuff of, hey, don't use third-party tools, it's against the user agreement, right? Very basic stuff, and I know a lot of people will say it doesn't address the root problem. What about the blacklist functionality? Are we going to address that? Are we going to change it back to what it was before? Or are we going to do something new? Or are we just going to keep it the same? And that's a genuine concern because, well, I always viewed the main issue not to be Playoscope by itself, but that the functionality exists for add-ons and third-party modifications like Playoscope to exist to begin with, because that information is available. You just have to create the right add-on or use the right add-on to scrape that information. And even if Playoscope goes the way of the dodo, gets brought out back and just shot behind the head, metaphorically speaking, what's to stop another guy, someone else out there, fingers encrusted in Cheeto dust, from whipping up a similar mod, third-party program, whatever, and then using that? Because I will agree with the idea that in regards to addressing that concern, this is not sufficient, and I don't think it was supposed to be. And if it was, I really don't agree with the idea of, hey guys, can we use the honor system here, please? Hey, pretty please, let's not do this kind of stuff in the future. Yeah, go team. I don't think that's the goal, but on the off chance it is, I would encourage them to take a hard look at any online community out there and realize the honor system rarely, if ever, works. Because all you need is one bad apple, one guy, one dude out there to say, go, okay, bet, let's do it. That's all you need. Now, it is important to note, there is an upcoming live stream, a letter from the producer live, scheduled in for Friday, February 7th, which is meant to introduce the content coming in with patch 7.2, or at least preview a lot of it. But historically, in the past, they have used parts of these live streams to address community concerns akin to this situation. So I wouldn't be surprised if on that day, in that live stream, in that letter from the producer live, they talk about this situation, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get more information there, because I don't think anything is sufficient at this point outside of a complete overhaul of the blacklist feature, because so long as that crippling flaw exists somewhere, someone is bound to exploit it because it's the internet, duh. And it's possible that they are still cooking something up behind the scenes because, again, I'm not a cybersecurity expert, though I know the number one rule is you do not reveal your hand, and you don't reveal more information than you have to, because you don't want people trying to circumvent your security measures to gain any actionable intelligence. So it wouldn't surprise me if they are trying to do something behind the scenes, they just don't want to reveal anything until it's all squared away and all set. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what it feels like to me. So they put out this statement that is carefully crafted, pretty much saying, we want this tool gone, we want it deleted, and also we will threaten legal action or at least consider it. And again, that doesn't feel like they're just saying, hey guys, we're gonna go after the guy that made Playoscope. That feels like for everyone else down the line who wants to make something akin to it, saying, hey, don't try us here. So while I can understand why possibly this response would feel a bit light for a lot of people, if they are truly working on stuff behind the scenes to address the root issue, which I kind of have the inkling or feeling that they are, it makes sense. This feels very corporate. Now, I know some people have brought up the idea of, stuff like anti-cheat or just flat out detecting and banning anyone that has a third-party mod or add-on or plugin or whatever. I don't really agree with that stance. It is against the user agreement, and Final Fantasy XIV can do whatever they want in that regard. I don't see the logic in going about that, though. Feels a bit like nuking the forest because one tree has, poison ivy on it. You know what I mean? It seems a bit overkill, and not really addressing the root of the actual issue, and just carpet bombing everything surrounding it. Because for as long as there have been online gaming, there have been cheaters, and there always will be, because there's always going to be some nerd out there that is able to find some way around it. And I still think the root issue here is that the account ID being available or being allowed to be scraped by other players, that's the key issue here. And while this doesn't necessarily affect me right now, I can understand other people who it may affect and their concerns, their worries, their anxiety. And I think a healthy dose of human empathy is pivotal for conversations like this. Because even if it may not affect you personally, it can affect other people in a very negative way. And the ideal situation is that the root cause of this issue, the root problem, is addressed and sorted in a timely manner. And I would also be on the side that if in the meantime, for whatever reason, a long-term solution cannot be developed in a timely manner, potentially going back to the way things were, if that was an effective solution to this current dilemma, would be applicable and make sense until the time comes that a long-term solution is able to be implemented. That would be my recommendation. That would be what I would support personally. And I'm not going going to try and pretend as if this is akin to an Attack on Titan when the Titans break down the wall or anything like that, but it is a serious issue and does deserve recognition and to be talked about and hopefully addressed in a timely manner. I am giving them some leeway in this regard, that they have more being talked about behind the scenes in regards to the long-term solutions to this they haven't talked about in this blog post or forum post, whatever. But if this is their entire response to the situation, I do not view it to be adequate or sufficient, because the only reason we know about Playoscope to begin with is because they talked about it. What happens if down the line people come up with another add-on like this, but they don't talk about it, and it doesn't get the publicity, it doesn't get the recognition that Playoscope got? What if that tool goes under the radar? May not affect a lot of people, but it could potentially affect people in general, all because of a flawed system inherently. I do think it's good that they addressed that stuff like your address and payment information cannot be leaked by this feature. Well, I say feature, by this third-party tool. It's good that they addressed that and alleviated any concerns that were out there in regards to that. I didn't have those concerns personally, but perhaps others did. More information in this regard I don't particularly view to be an issue, but I think on the whole it's good that they addressed it. A little bit late, like it's been a while since this has been like a big news topic. Like it's almost been 2 weeks. And unless they put out another blog post, it's going to be another 2 weeks until the live letter, if they even addressed it there. But strictly speaking, it's better than nothing, and it is at least an acknowledgement that they are aware of what's going on. So with that, I'll call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure for making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It would really help share out and help support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions on the subject matter of what's going on. Are you satisfied with this response? Are you wanting more? What do you want more of? I'd love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and hear your perspectives. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we meet again.